So we've got a lot of questions recently on a training aid, a new training aid that we've gotten recently from Eminent Golf. So I thought we'd explain it just a little bit. Really, really cool tool to offer a little bit of guidance, and initially to really help someone clarify their concept for what a really kind of neutral path is supposed to feel like, what the face rotation is supposed to feel out throughout the swing. You'll see there's a lot of guidance here. The club is locked in and following a track, which is going to really restrict you and force you into the correct path relative to the lie angle of this that we can set. We can set anywhere between 75 and 85 degrees. So initially, this is a really cool way to give someone, all right, this is what it's supposed to feel like. If we see some excessive left paths or right paths, this is a cool tool to get them on to kind of enlighten them on what is it supposed to feel like to be neutral. We should mention we're kind of wary anytime that we have a training aid that offers so much concurrent guidance, because it's restricting you to where it's errorless. You cannot mess this up, which is great for initial performance, not very good for long-term learning. And the cool thing about this is I can kind of change some things around here that fade out how much guidance this is delivering me. And so right now, the way that this putter is locked in here, it's totally locked in. I can't change the lie angle, I can't change the face angle, and I have to keep on this really good path the whole way. But I can loosen up the clasp on the putter to where then I can start to rotate the face. There's less restriction, there's less guidance, and I've got to do a lot of it on my own, which we certainly would prefer for long-term learning. Initially, I would want to use the putter in this channel to where it can't get off track at all. Really cool thing about this device is then I can flip it over on the other side. This is the side of the board that I find myself using more often than not, because again, it's taking away some of the guidance, really making you create the motion, and it's providing us feedback on how you're doing. So just like any kind of rail that we would be on, we're sliding the putter along the rail. If we start to hear, there's these really cool, these two little kind of, they mute the sound, these white things right here. If I'm sliding on this rail really nicely, the face is staying square to the path, then I don't get any noise. This kind of glides along here smoothly. But as soon as I start to close the face early, you can see this back portion comes off, I start to hear metal on metal. So this is really good feedback, some audio feedback and some visual feedback that will hopefully get us matching up face and path, marrying that face and path a little bit better more often than not. So on the other side, we're getting a ton of guidance and a lot of restriction, kind of clarifying this concept for what should this feel like. And then we can flip it over here. We can take away some of these restrictions here to where then I have to produce the right motion, and then it's providing me feedback on where the errors are occurring. So this is a product that we like a lot. We find ourselves using it more and more, and I would highly encourage you to evaluate training aids that you're going to use in your game the same way that we would. How is it affecting performance, and how is it affecting learning? As I get locked into this, it's definitely helping my performance. I'm going to perform perfectly. If we test this on Sam, my stroke is going to grade out at 100s. So it's definitely helping me right away. It's impacting that. I'm getting short-term performance gains out of it, but I also want to consider how is this going to help me learn in the long term. When you take this away, has any learning occurred? Has any improvement been retained? And so when you have ways where you can kind of fade back how much guidance this training aid is giving you, you can be sure that it's going to lead to some learning because you're actually creating the motion. You're a more active participant in it. So think about that when you're testing out training aids, evaluating if they should be used in your game.